Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of week 5 distance learning. We have been reading about how food gets from the farm to the table in module 9, and this is our third and last week with this module. Today is our second day, and this is going to start off with word work. We have been talking about the suffix ion.
I have a question. If a word ends in shun, what kind of word is it? It's probably a noun, a thing. We often add shun to verbs to create nouns. Competition.
Persuasion.
So compete is the verb, we add shun and we get competition, the act of competing. Persuade is the verb, add shun and we get persuasion, the act of persuading. Shun is a very common suffix and it might be spelled with a T or an S. Let's look at some more shun words. A decision.
Construction.
Destruction. Discussion. Meditation. Can you tell if shun is spelt with a T or an S? No, not really. Sometimes looking at the base verbs can help. So discuss becomes discussion with an S. Meditate becomes meditation with a T. But usually you need to learn the spellings one by one. Check on the web or in a dictionary.
So as you heard, if we start with a verb and add ion, then we're likely to get a noun. Let's look at some examples. If I take relate, which means to make or show a connection between, then adding ion results in the state of being connected. If I take negotiate, which means obtain or bring about by discussion, and add ion, then the result is the state of being in agreement as a result of discussion. Recreate is to reenact, so recreation is the state of creating something again. Location. If I take locate, which means discover the exact place or position of, and add the state of being, I get location, the state of knowing the exact place or position. What other words can you think of that have ion? I'll be asking you during our Zoom meeting at 10 or at 5. So remember, a suffix is a word part added to the end of a base word that changes the meaning and part of speech of a base word. The suffix ion means an act, result, or state of being. And when you add ion to a verb, the new word is a noun. Another type of word that we're going to look at is a compound word. You may remember that compound words are two smaller words put together, and the two smaller words can help you understand the meaning of the new word. For example, class and room make classroom, a room for holding class. Water and fall make waterfall. It looks like water falling. Eye and lid make eyelid, the lid that covers your eye. What about rain plus fall? Rain is the moisture condensed from the atmosphere that falls visibly in separate drops. And fall means to move downward. So rainfall is the fall of rain. Bee is an insect of a large group to which the honeybee belongs. Hive is a thing that has a domed shape. So a beehive is a thing that has a domed shape where bees live. After means in the time following, and noon means 12 o'clock in the day. So afternoon means the time after 12 o'clock. Thunder is a loud rumbling or crashing noise heard after a lightning flash. Storm is a violent disturbance of the atmosphere with strong winds, rain, thunder, lightning, or snow. So a thunderstorm is a violent disturbance of the atmosphere with strong winds and loud rumbling. What other compound words do you know? I'll be asking you during our Zoom meeting. Now let's look at critical vocabulary. Remember, we've been practicing and using context clues. We have words like layout, which is a drawing or plan that shows where things are or will be. This layout shows where the new cafeteria will be located. An arbor is a shady passageway made for vines or branches. We walked under the grape arbor to escape from the afternoon heat. Transplanted. If you transplanted something, you took it from the place it was growing and planted it in a new place. We transplanted the bush from the backyard to the front yard so it could get more sunlight. Mulch. If you put mulch in your garden, you put straw or wood chips around your plants to help protect them. Chris put mulch around the plants in the flower garden. Blooming. When trees or plants are blooming, their flowers are out and open. When the flowers are blooming in spring, the garden bursts with color. Kernels. Kernels are grains or seeds of plants such as corn or wheat. You can use dried corn kernels to make popcorn. Now, let's see if we can apply what we reviewed to determine which sentence best fits the meaning of the word in bold print. Layout. The other teachers thought Ms. McCarthy had a nice garden. Or, the plan showed where each kind of vegetable would be planted. Mulch. Some students spread straw on the ground to protect the plants. Or, some students took buckets of food scraps out to the compost pile. Arbor. We walked through a tunnel made of tree branches. Or, we walked through a garden near a forest of tall trees. Transplanted. Plants grew in clay pots in the warm greenhouse. Or, I moved a seedling from a pot in the greenhouse into a garden bed. Kernels. She picked the small yellow seeds off the corn cob. Or, she picked several ears of corn off each cornstalk. Blooming. The apples are ripe and ready to be picked. Or, the apple tree is covered in pink flowers. Remember, context clues are the information in a sentence and around a sentence that can help us determine the meaning of a word. Sometimes the word is defined in the sentence or the surrounding sentences. For example, the police thwarted or prevented the robbers' plans. That means that thwarted means prevented. Sometimes we have specific examples that provide clues to the meaning of the unknown word. For example, the decor, including the fancy lights, beautiful paintings, and unique furniture, made the house look stunning. So decor is fancy lights, beautiful paintings, and unique furniture. Those are examples. We can also have a word or group of words with the opposite meaning of the word. Here's an example. The vast mall could not even compare to the tiny boutique. Since the sentence says not, that helps us know that tiny is an antonym of vast. Vast would mean huge. Synonym. A word with the same meaning is used in the sentence. For example, the heat from the intense rays of the sun was scorching. Heat and scorching are synonyms, so scorching means very, very hot. Now, during our Zoom meeting, I'm going to ask you if you can say a sentence providing context for one of our critical vocabulary words. Next, we're going to read. Our focus today is text structure. Remember, the structure of a text is how it's organized. Informational texts, like the one we're reading, are often sequential because they present dates, as in biographies, or steps, as in when they explain how to do something. To find text structure, look for the transition words. Also, think about the author's purpose. Here we see 4 types of text structure: comparison contrast, cause and effect, sequence, and problem and solution. Let's think about which of these are used in our garden. Here's a song to help us remember about text structure.
You know, much like buildings, text, especially informational and non-fiction text, have to be structurally sound, or else they'll fall over. You feel me? Yeah, let's get it. Let's go! When you read informational text and see the pattern and the way that it's written, oh yes. Here are 5 main structures you can check. Find the structure and they get less complex. Let's flex and break down all 5. Follow me, the text structure mastermind. This first text structure is called description. It describes the topic and its characteristics. You'll see such as and, for example, and details and adjectives like in this sample. The famous Leaning Tower of Pisa is located in Italy. Mamma mia! It stands over 180 feet tall, tilted 4 degrees like it's starting to fall. That's description. The author describes the tower, so you have the image in your mind. Now peep this, the structure called sequence. It gives events from way back to most recent. Construction began in 1173, but it was halted when war was decreed. Building stopped for a while, then resumed many years later in 1272. Sequence contains dates and the words next, then, before, first, second, and third. Cause and effect is another way to organize. It's when authors tell what happened and why. Soft soil made the tower settle unevenly. As a result, it leaned increasingly. Builders tried to balance it with more floors, but due to extra weight, it leans even more. Words like because, since, if, then, due to mean a cause and effect is coming right to you. In text, I find description, I find sequence, cause, and effect. You can compare and contrast all day. There's a problem and solution, I bet. In text, I find description, I find sequence, cause, and effect. We can compare and contrast all day. There's a problem and solution, I bet.
So you can finish listening to the song when you review the lesson. So we're going to ask ourselves about what transition words we see. And does the text compare and contrast? Is the author showing a cause and an effect? Why did the author organize the text as a sequence of events? Or why did the author choose a problem and solution?